Hey guys, so it's 2025 now. A year ago, I made a promise to myself. I said I'd learn dramatic lighting techniques at the start of 2024. But you know how it goes, video games, work, life. So I only started learning dramatic lighting techniques in September 2024. So since it's start of the new year, I'm making a new promise. This year, I'll focus only on dramatic lighting techniques from January to December 2025. And so far, I've learned 3 dramatic lighting techniques: the chiaroscuro, hard lighting, and tenebrism. And today, I'll break them down for you in case you're in the same stage of your art journey as me. This might help. I'll show you the workflow, the layer blending modes, and how to render illustrations like this, and this. A quick disclaimer though, I'm not really a good artist yet. This is just the way I've learned to render these lighting techniques. It's fast and efficient, but it's not the only way, and it might not be the best way. Okay, so let's get started.
And these are the characteristics of chiaroscuro.
So first, I'm going to darken everything using the multiply layer. Then above the multiply layer, I'm going to create a new overlay layer. And this is where I'm going to paint all the hard lights. I'm using an off-white from the warmest part of the color wheel, yellow. I'm just gonna paint all the edges facing the light source with a hard light.
As you can see, this is how we'll approach learning lighting techniques in 2025. First, by knowing the names of the lighting techniques. When you know the names, you can link them to their characteristics. And when you understand the characteristics, it's much easier to remember the steps in the workflow. This makes the art process so much faster and easier.
And to those who are wondering which brush I use to paint the light, I'm using the default gouache brush by Clip Studio Paint. I'm mentioning it because as I edit the video, the brush really looks very juicy. And by the way, I don't draw this fast. Behind the scenes, there's a lot of undoing and indecisiveness. This video is heavily edited, not because I want to show you that I draw this fast, no. The traditional speed paint video is painful in the eyes, and I don't want that. Then we're going to illuminate some parts of the eye as well to create depth. And this is how it looks with all the hard lights. But currently, it still looks flat. Instead of looking 3D, doesn't really resemble chiaroscuro yet. And then a new glow dodge layer for the soft lights of the chiaroscuro. And the reason why we use glow dodge is because we want the orange to look more saturated. Otherwise, the skin will look pale. I've learned this from Dino Loss. I learned from that artist a lot, especially in dark lighting techniques like chiaroscuro. And we're going to use the soft airbrush to paint all the bounce lights. And then a more intense light at the back of the hair on the same layer to create that subsurface scattering effect. Another key characteristic of chiaroscuro is it has a relatively brighter background, which adds atmosphere to the scene. I will discuss the importance of atmosphere in my next video, so please don't forget to subscribe. And then I added some texture and adjusted the color balance. I've learned this workflow from studying Mai Yoniyama, which I've made a video before.
Before we dive into hard lighting, let me first show you the drawing tablet we used to render these lighting techniques.
This is the Parblo Intangbo SW. It supports wireless connection and wired USB.
You can connect this drawing tablet to your Android device via Bluetooth. It is very lightweight, so you can carry it with you anywhere you go, just like a sketchbook. The tablet also comes with an OTG adapter, allowing you to connect it to your phone via USB if you prefer not to go wireless. It includes a USB option for PCs without Bluetooth, 6 extra pen nibs, and a battery-free pen. Paired with the tablet's 10-hour battery life, it's the perfect combination to finish 2 illustrations even while you're traveling. The pen's nib and buttons are very tight, with no wobbly sounds when you shake or use it, which I really appreciate. This pen also has a rubber grip, which is comfortable for the hands. You can store 3 extra nibs inside the pen by removing its cap. The logo isn't just decorative, it prevents the pen from rolling off surfaces. The tablet features 6 customizable express keys and a mechanical mute wheel. The wheel can be used to adjust brush size, and by pressing the center button, you can switch its function to zoom in or out based on your preferences. And it has a 7x4-inch workspace.
What I like the most about the Parblo Intangbo SW is the high resistance between the pen and the tablet, making it so easy to create the line art, which is unusual for a non-display tablet. It also has over 16K levels of pressure sensitivity, easy for thin to thick lines and thick to thin lines. It also features 60-degree tilt support, making the sketching experience feel more natural, just like drawing with pen and paper. If you're interested in buying this tablet, I've included links in the description of the video.
Next is the hard lighting, and these are its characteristics.
The first step in hard lighting is to create a new overlay layer above all the other layers. Fill this layer with a light value midnight blue, because we're going to create a night scene where the character is getting a direct light coming from the moon. Next, make a multiply layer on top of the overlay layer. Use this layer to paint the shadows. Make sure that the shadow color and the light we chose earlier have a big contrast. This will make our scene more clear and intense. In hard lighting, we only use hard brushes. The sharp shadows combined with high contrast colors create a strong and direct light. It is so intense that you won't see any bounce lights anymore, and because of that, it will look flat. But that's exactly how the lighting technique is meant to be. It looks flat because it is used to create very clear focal points. This is totally optional. I'm gonna add some rays of light coming from the light source. And same process, add texture and then adjust the color balance.
And lastly, the Tenebrism. Here are its characteristics.
First step in Tenebrism, we're going to remove the eye glows because we want the character to look as creepy as possible. And then we're gonna darken everything using a multiply layer. And above the multiply layer, we're gonna create a new overlay layer. Then paint a warm light in one specific area or a spotlight type of lighting, leaving the rest in darkness. This is the most important characteristic of Tenebrism, and if you remember from my previous videos, the focus of Tenebrism is the dramatization of light and clear focal points. Then a new normal layer with slightly reduced opacity. We're gonna darken the background with a pitch black color to make it look like some areas that are in darkness are almost completely submerged in the background. Another important characteristic of Tenebrism. So originally I have a triangle composition, but with the wedding veil submerged in the darkness, I lost the rhythm of the triangle. So I'm just gonna create a rhythm using the shadows, like this circular motion in the shadows that leads to the face. And you see that some areas are almost blends in the total darkness. This creates that eerie or creepy feeling. We're gonna reinforce that feeling with sketchy eyes like we see in the horror or gothic artists. And then we're gonna add a blood splatter using a custom brush. And these are the three lighting techniques we rendered using the Parblo Intangbo SW. As you can see, the lighting evokes different emotions and different purposes. The chiaroscuro really shows the three-dimensionality of the subject, and the lighting looks soft and pleasant, while the Tenebrism looks eerie and creepy. The lighting is extremely dramatic and the focal point is very clear because of the spotlight. Hard lighting is very intense, high contrast, and it looks flat, and the focal point is also very clear. Thank you Nina from Parblo for letting me try this amazing tablet, the Intangbo SW, and thank you guys for watching. This is Don't Flip My Canvas signing off. See ya!